who don't know me, I have an Etsy shop called Alma Surfside, and I sell handmade beach and surf-inspired jewelry. So if you'd like to check it out, I'll include a link down below. I'd like to thank everyone who has already subscribed to my channel. I'm brand new to YouTube, so the other day I realized that I hadn't even posted a banner or a profile picture. So I guess a lot of you were wondering, whether or not I was going to add videos and do this long term. But I definitely am going to be, creating as much as possible and sharing some of those designs with you. So thank you. If you haven't already subscribed, please take a minute and do that. It just helps out the channel and helps me, develop more designs. Okay, so for today's tutorial, it's actually going to be a two-part tutorial because I have two bracelets that are very similar. So they're on my trinket tray here. So this is one of the bracelets that I created. It has, a geometric shape, and then it has pink bugle bead connectors. Okay, so that's what it looks like. And then I went and did another bracelet that actually looks really good together with the first bracelet that I did. So they're both, similar in terms of the materials that I use. And I think that the shapes complement one another. So today we're going to work on the first bracelet, the larger one up here. And then in the next tutorial, I'll go over how to do the second bracelet. So you can wear them together or you can wear them separately, it's up to you. But I just thought I would give you a heads up. Okay, so for today's tutorial, you'll need Fireline, and I'm using 6 pound, or you could use .006 Wildfire, it's always the same. Regardless of the brand, it's the same size. You'll need seed beads in 15/0. So in this case I have a baby pink, I think it's a luster finish from Toho. Again, 15/0. You'll need 15/0 in silver, and these are galvanized silver by Toho. You'll need bugle beads, and these are number 3 bugle dyed pink silver lined. Okay, so that's the, I think it's about 7 millimeters. I went through my bugle beads and I was kind of trying to get an idea of the length, because I know Miyuki makes bugle beads, but they're a little bit different in terms of sizing. I know that they do a 3 and a 6 millimeter, but I guess these are Czech, and so these are a little bit longer, 7 millimeter. And you'll also need number 2 bugle beads. These are crystal silver lined, okay, and I went ahead and measured them, and they're about 5 millimeters, just to give you an idea of the sizing. Okay, so to do this bracelet, what I'm going to go through today is the first shape, the connector, the second shape, and the connector, and then later on in the video we'll finish it off together. Okay, so we're going to do a loop, and then we're going to connect 2 jump rings and a lobster claw. Okay, so I'll put aside my bracelet, and what you're going to do is you're going to start off by picking up 1 pink bugle bead. This is the 7 millimeter, the longer one. You're going to pick up 2 of the smaller bugle beads. These are the 5 millimeter. Okay, and then again with the longer bugle bead, and then 2 of the smaller bugle beads. Okay, so 7 millimeter, 2 of the 5 millimeter, 7, and then again 2 of the 5. Okay. Push those down on your thread. I always leave it about 10 inches from the very bottom so that I can finish it off. And I'm going to put my needle through the very last bugle bead, which is the larger one, the 7 millimeter. And I'm going to pull in my thread. Okay, so that's the shape that you should have. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around this shape and I'm going to add 15/0 silver beads. Okay, so fill in all the gaps, again with the small seed beads. So I'm working all the way around my shape. I'm going through each bugle bead, and before going into the next one, I'm inserting a 15/0 silver bead. So that's the main shape that you should have. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around the shape and I'm going to add on beads that are the same size to each of these segments. Okay, so I'm coming out of the pink bugle bead here on the right. This is where my thread is. Okay, I'm coming out the bottom. And I'm going to pick up another 7mm bugle bead. Okay, the pink one. And I'm going to go through the opposite side of that bugle. And I'm going to pull on my thread. There. Okay, so it should sit on the outside of the shape. Then I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to work my way around the shape, and I'm going to do the exact same thing. So go through the next small bugle bead. Okay, pick up a small bugle. And I'm going to go through the opposite side with my needle and pull on my thread. Okay, so that's what you should have. Again, you're going to do this all the way around your shape. Go through the next bugle, knot the seed bead, pick up the same size of bugle, go through the opposite side with your needle and pull on your thread, and it's going to sit on the outside of that shape. Okay, so I'm going to go through the next long bugle bead, pick up the same size of bugle, go through the opposite side and pull on my thread. Put my needle through the next bugle bead. Okay, this time it's a small one, so I'm going to pick that up. I'm going to go through the opposite side again, so you're doing the same thing all the way around your shape. Pull on your thread, and again the small bugle bead. Okay, pick up a small bugle, silver, and go through the opposite side with your thread. Okay, so what I have here are the long bugles at the top and the bottom of my shape, and the smaller bugles, there's 2 on the left and 2 on the right. Okay, so that creates the framework. And then what I'm going to do is fill in all of the gaps with 15/0 seed beads, and then we're going to work on the connecting element. Okay, so if you want to reinforce this shape, you can go ahead and do that. Just for time's sake, I'm not going to do that on camera, but reinforce just means go through it again with your thread just to make it stronger and ensure that the shape holds. Okay, so my thread is coming out of the bottom bugle, one of the smaller ones, and I'm going to insert my needle into the top bugle in that set, okay? So that's what you should have. And then I'm going to fill in all the gaps with 15/0 seed beads, okay? So in between the two small bugle beads, I'm going to pick up 2 of the pink luster. Oops. And I'm going to insert it into the subsequent bugle bead that's sitting on the very outside of the shape. Pull. Okay, so that's filled in. On the corner, so I'm going from the small into the large. In the corner, I'm going to pick up 1 silver, 2 of the pink, and then again another silver. Okay, so that's what I have on my needle. Silver, 2 pink, 1 silver. I'm going to go into the top bugle bead that's sitting on the outside. Pull my thread. Okay, so that's what you should have. Again, this is another corner, so I'm going to repeat. 1 silver, 2 of the pink, and 1 of the silver. Okay, and I'm going to go into the top bugle. There we go. Now I'm in the middle section, so I'm just going to pick up 2 of the pink. And I'm going to go through the other bugle on the outside. Okay, that's what you should have. Now this is a corner, so for the corner unit, I'm going to pick up 1 silver, 2 of the pink, and 1 of the silver. Okay, go through the top, pull in your thread, okay, and then this is the last corner, so we're going to pick up a silver, 2 of the pink, and another silver, and through the smaller bugle. Good, done. So that's what your shape should look like. Now what we're going to do is the connecting component, which is going to link to the next shape that's going to be identical to this one. So my thread is coming out right here, and I'm going to move my needle through all of the beads to get to the large 7mm bugle at the top. Okay, so there we are at the top. You'll notice it's possible that there might be a small gap between the bugles that are attached to one another. So if you notice that, all you have to do is go through the top and bottom with your needle, and that'll just help hold them together even tighter. Okay, so I just wanted to put that out there. Now you're gonna need the exact same size of bugle as the one that you're coming out of. So in this case, it's the 7mm. I'm gonna go through the opposite side, pull on my thread. I'm going to go down the bugle that I just attached and up again in the bugle right behind it, okay? Okay, so that's one of them. I'm going to go down the next one, and then I'm ready to pick up another large bugle. Okay, so 7mm, go down this bugle, pull on your thread so that they sit side by side, go up the newer bugle that you just added. Okay, so now you have 4 pink bugles side by side. We're going to add on one more. Go up the bottom of the bugle, pull on your thread, go down the next one. This case, I want to make sure it's, really well reinforced, so I'm going to go up the previous one, pull on my thread, and then down. Okay, so that's what you should have. You should have a total of 5 of the 7mm bugles kind of in a ladder, in a row. And then you're going to create the first shape again. You're going to repeat it. So I'm going to start by doing the inner part, and then I'm going to move to the outer ring. Okay. So to do the inner part, I'm going to pick up 2 of the small bugle beads, 1 of the large bugle beads, and 2 of the small bugle beads. Okay, so that's what I have. 2 small, 1 large, followed by 2 small. I'm going to go through this bugle bead here, right on the end, with my needle. I'm going to pull on my thread, and I've just created the same shape that I had before. Okay, I'm going to fill in all of the gaps with 15/0 silver beads. So pick up 1, go through the next bugle, pick up another one, go through the next bugle, Okay, so that's what you should have. Now that I've reached the bottom, I'm going to go through the very first bugle bead on the right hand side. And what I'm going to do is attach the outer ring of bugles. Okay, so I have the same size of bugle. I'm going to go through the opposite side with my needle. And that's what's going to create the outer ring of that shape. Okay, so repeat all the way around. Go into the next small bugle. Pick up another small bugle and go through the opposite side, pull in your thread. Okay, now I'm entering the large bugle. I'm going to go through, pull in my thread, pick up another large bugle, go through the opposite side, and pull in my thread. Okay, so all the way around, keep going. Okay, so that's what you should have. The second shape should almost be complete, but we still have one more step before we move on to the next connector. So I'm coming out of the small bugle bead here at the bottom of my shape. I'm going to insert my needle through the top bugle that's sitting right above it. Okay, in this case there's a little bit of separation that I'm noticing, so I'm just going to do that step one more time just to make sure that they're nice and taut. So I went down and then go back through the top. There we go. Okay, so that's sitting a lot better. Okay, so for the gaps, again, we're going to pick up 2 pink. Okay, go through the next small bugle, pull in your thread. Okay, this is a corner unit, so now we're going to have to pick up a silver, 2 of the pink, go through the bugle that's sitting on the outside, pull your thread, again a corner unit, so I'm going to pick up a silver, 2 of the pink, and another silver. Okay, go through the next bugle. Okay, now we need 2 small pink. This is a corner, so again we're going to pick up a silver, 2 of the pink, and a silver. And we're going to go through the second bugle bead, okay? So it's part of the connector unit. The connector unit has a total of 5, and we're going through the second one at the very top, okay? There you go. And then this is going to be the last corner unit, so 1 silver, 2 of the pink, 1 of the silver. It's going to go through the outside bugle. Okay, and then I'm going to go all the way to the top, exiting the top pink bugle bead, okay? So get my needle up here through the right side. Sometimes it's tricky to get through the 15 over zeros, but anyways, take your time. Okay, so once you reach this point, you're going to finish by picking up another long bugle bead, going through the opposite side of the one that you just came out. Pull in your thread. Okay, that's what you should have. Go down the next bugle bead. If you find that there's a bit of space, you can go up the previous one just to reinforce it, and down again. There you go. Okay, pick up another long bugle bead and repeat. Go through the opposite side and up. Okay, that one seems to be sitting nicely. And then my last one, the 5th one, I'm going to repeat, go up the bottom and pull in my thread, and then go down the 5th bugle, okay? So you've just finished the second connector, and then you're ready to start the larger shape at that point. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll go ahead and finish the bracelet, and then I'll come back and we'll finish it off together. Okay, so I finished my bracelet. To give you an idea, I have 8 of the large shapes, and that's roughly the right size for my wrist. For these type of bracelets, because we're working with larger shapes, it's hard to get just a perfect fit. So you might have to use a chain extension. If I put it on my wrist and I pull around, okay, you'll notice that there's a bit of a gap. So in that case, I can use jump rings in order to make it fit just exact, or again, a chain extension. Okay, so the closure, in this case, it's going to be a loop coming out of the top bugle bead in the last shape. I've already gone ahead and done it on one side, and I'll show you how to do it on the other side. Okay, so I'm exiting the top bugle bead here. I've picked up 8 of the 15/0 silver beads, and I'm going to go through the opposite side of that top bugle bead. Pull. I can reinforce it by taking my needle and going through all of the beads that I just added on. Okay, and then go back down through the bugle. Pull tight. Okay, and that's what gives you a nice taut closure. Okay, and then I'm going to put my needle through a few of these beads on the side of my shape. Okay, exiting through the small bugle. And then I can do a knot right here. Okay, then I'll go through a couple more beads and do a knot on the other side. There we go. Okay, at this point I can cut off my thread. Okay, so once you've finished your piece, you have the loops, you've done a couple of knots, you've tied it off, cut off your excess thread. What you're going to do is get a pair of flat nose pliers. You're going to pick up a jump ring, insert it into the loop, and close your jump ring. Go to the opposite side of your bracelet, pick up your jump ring as well as your lobster claw, and insert it on that side. Okay, and that's how you finish it off. Okay, the lobster claw is going to clamp onto the jump ring, just like that. Okay, so anyways, there you have it. It's a very modern, very clean, very beach in terms of the color scheme, the pastel pinks and the cool silver. I find that's just kind of a sporty look. So please join me next time for the second tutorial, which is part 2, and we'll do the other bracelet that I showed you at the beginning of the video. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you guys had fun making this bracelet with me, and we'll see you next time.